Time now for Hawk Zone, sponsored by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Well, for the first time in a decade, the Seahawks shut out their opponent. They allowed 0 points against the Minnesota Vikings in a game that was largely a battle of the defenses. Terry Holloman joins me in the Hawk Zone, as he always does, to break this one down. And I want to start with your bold prediction, my friend, from last week. You believed the Seahawks defense would get back into the business of forcing turnovers. Listen in.
I think we're going to get some turnovers. We didn't get any interceptions last week. I think the Seahawks come up with 3 turnovers in this game, and that's going to be the difference. 3 turnovers.
3, you said. You were close. We got 4.
Close?
We got 4 turnovers.
But you know what it's like when you say you have 3, you end up getting 4? That's like when you order fries at the fast food restaurant, and it's just regular fries, but you find a curly fry in there? We got an extra curly fry. 4
You're right. What did you think about the defensive effort?
Man, again, the Seahawks defense shows up every single week, and they show out. They're just like we expected them to be. They're putting pressure on the quarterback. The secondary guys are making plays back there. And I knew when they had an opportunity this week to face this Vikings team, they were going to have a chance to get some turnovers. You know, the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy over there in Minnesota, has been struggling this season, and he struggled mightily in Lumen Field this weekend. So I knew we were going to have a chance to take some balls away, and they did that.
Oh, so fun to watch. And why do you think, though, it was such a challenging day for the Seahawks passing game? We usually are talking about JSN nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. We said here, right?
True.
Any given Sunday, every dog has his day. But you have to look at these guys. What they intended to do, the Minnesota Vikings, they said, we're going to let anybody else beat us except JSN and Sam Darnold. We're going to let you see if your running game can do it. We're going to see if some of your other tight ends or your other receivers can do it. So what they did is they had a game plan pretty much to really kind of bubble wherever JSN was going to. They would cheat a safety over to go over the top while they had somebody covering underneath. So there were really tight windows for Sam Darnold to throw into. So that made it tough for one. The other tough thing is those guys up front for the Minnesota Vikings were getting after Sam Darnold. Like, it seemed like he had 1-2 and it was time to throw the ball. And a lot of times he was getting hit and plastered. He ended up getting 4 sacks. So again, that makes it tough when you're a quarterback trying to get the ball to your number 1 wide receiver. That being said, you know, we still came away with a victory.
I know he only had 2 catches, JSN, for 23 yards.
He's
that
human.
was shocking. I know,
no, it's shocking. He's human. He's not a machine. Until next week, we'll see a machine come back.
Yes, hopefully. He'll be back for sure. Like you talked about, the Seahawks, I feel like, really leaned into the run game, but they struggled to really finish the drives in the red zones.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that execution.
So, yeah, they've been struggling all season long in the red zone, and, you know, it's kind of been a question, kind of an Achilles heel for this team. We're very good in between the 20 and 20. We get down into the red zone, and they kind of choke. Again, the field gets shortened. Your playbook kind of gets smaller. There's a certain number of plays you can run. I think what happens down there with the Seahawks is a couple of times they like to get too cute down there, you know, rather than just pound the ball, run the ball, stick it in there. They get too cute, start doing motions and things like that, and things mess up when you start doing stuff like that down there.
I know. You know who I thought was being a little too cute too, but I still love him, was Reek. When he got that, you know, turnover, exciting, but next time, run out of bounds.
Not just run out of bounds, lay down. I understand, though, because you think about this. As a defensive player, you never get to touch the ball, right?
True.
So when I get to touch the ball, and I bet you Reek Woolen, being the athlete that he is, when he was growing up, he played either receiver and running back.
100%.
So he's like, I get the ball, I'm about to bloop, bloop, and score. But then he got bloop, bloop, and fumbles.
I know. But next time. Yeah. Who was your player of the game?
Oh, my player of the game is our number 1 linebacker, Ernest Jones. He had an incredible game this weekend, coming back off an injury. He did not play the previous week, and he's had some injuries all season. He's like, okay, I'm going to show y'all what I got, what I've been doing. I've been rehabbing and getting strong and fast. So what he did yesterday, 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6. Again, a pick 6 is the biggest play you can make in football, and he made one. Almost 90-yard touchdown return there. He had 12 tackles, which led the entire defense. Ernest Jones, player of the game. It's not even close.
I know. I loved what he was saying. He said he was like hearing someone breathing down his back, but it was Reek again trying to chase him to the end zone.
Reek showing out, as usual.
As usual. And I loved Ernest's Drake's speech at the end of the game in the locker
he's
room
a solid
was
leader.
super special.
Glad we picked him up.
Definitely. This week, the Seahawks are heading to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. What can you tell me? What should we look for in this game?
This is an Atlanta Falcon team that has been struggling. They started out with a lot of promise this year. They thought they had their new quarterback, franchise quarterback, in Michael Penix Jr., who is a University of Washington alum.
Go Dogs.
Yes, but a couple of weeks ago, he blew his knee out, ACL. He's done for the season. So they're on the rocks right now. They lost to the lowly Jets last weekend, so they're going to be hurting this week. But they still have a great running back in Bijan Robinson, who had 193 yards this past weekend. So the Seahawks are going to be praying for that guy.
Okay, bold predictions, because we saw yours at the top of this segment.
You're very good at this. Another fortune teller. I think this week we're going to get JSN back on track.
Ooh.
He had a week off. He didn't have as many yards, didn't have enough catches, not a lot of production. But this week we're going back over 100 JSN, and the Hawks are going to win. 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, I like it. And the Seahawks also got some help yesterday after the Rams' loss against the Carolina Panthers.
They did.
So now they're back on top and tied for first place. Yep. And the 49ers are just 1 game back. It's a tight division, though.
It is very tight. Always very competitive in NFC West. But again, we got some help. The LA Rams are back, dropped down a little bit, and we're tied with them. And then we got to face them a little while down the road here in Seattle.
And we're going to win. That's my bold prediction.
Ahead of time.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Terry. And it's almost time to celebrate half a century of the timeless music with Air Supply. The legendary duo brings their 50th anniversary tour to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on Wednesday, December 10th. Sing along to classics like All Out of Love and Making Love Out of Nothing at All. It's an unforgettable night of memories. Visit the website on your screen for ticket information.